you're having trouble falling asleep? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I was hoping that I would be able to help you out today. Does that sound good? Now, why do you think you can't fall asleep? Are you not tired, or is your neck sore, or your head sore? Your neck sore? Well, I could try and help you with that by giving you a little massage with some lotion. And hopefully that would relax you and take away some of your pain. And then I am going to read to you just to help you drift off to sleep. Because sometimes I find that a little bit of personal attention and the sound of someone's voice always helps me fall asleep. Good. Well, are you nice and comfy? Comfy? Good. Also have this spray here that is called Sleep Serenity, and you're supposed to use it on your pillow like a pillow mist, and it has chamomile and lavender in it, which are both meant to be very relaxing in aromatherapy. So I am going to just spritz the pillows around you. No, it's not too strong. It's just nice and calming. Do you want to smell it? There you go. Yeah, it's not a strong scent, it's just relaxing. So, is that enough? A bit more. Okay, now if you just take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. You just keep doing that, and just to make sure that you can breathe in this scent, and it should hopefully be nice and relaxing for you. I think the bottle makes a nice sound as well. Okay. Next, I'm going to take this lotion, and this is a cocoa butter formula, so it's nice and rich and soothing, and I am just going to rub it into your neck. Okay? How's that? Good. Is the pressure okay? The other side. Now, it feels like you have a couple tender spots, a couple of knots in your neck. Have you not been sleeping well recently? I'm trying to be gentle but firm so I can just unwork some of these knots. Maybe you've just been lying in the wrong position, or has there been something stressing you out recently? Sometimes they can contribute to neck stiffness. Some more lotion. I can help out, because there's nothing worse than not being able to sleep, especially when you know that you have to be up early the next day. So your left side hurts a little bit more. Yeah. It does feel quite tense. Okay. Get right up to the back of your neck. Sometimes that can be the part that carries the most stress. There we go. How does that feel? Better? Good. I'm glad I could help. If I go on for too long, my thumbs get a bit sore. Well, if you just want to, I'll lie back now. Get as comfortable as possible, and I can read to you for a little bit if you want. Okay. Well, I chose, if I can find it, there it is. I chose a book that I don't think you'll have read before, and it is by a Japanese author. You might have heard of him. His name is Haruki Murakami. And he's done a lot of quite successful books that have been successful in Japan but also in the West. And this specific book is Norwegian Wood, which I believe is named after a Beatles song, but I could be wrong about that. I've only read half the book myself, so I thought I would start from the beginning with you and see how far we could get. Okay? I was 37 then, strapped in my seat as the huge 747 plunged through dense cloud cover on approach to Hamburg airport. Cold November rains drenched the earth, lending everything the gloomy air of a Flemish landscape. The ground crew in waterproofs, a flag atop a squat airport building, a BMW billboard. So, Germany again. Once the plane was on the ground, soft music began to flow from the ceiling speakers. A sweet, orchestral version of the Beatles' Norwegian Wood. The melody never failed to send a shudder through me. But this time, it hit me harder than ever. I bent forward, my face in my hands to keep my skull from splitting open. Before long, one of the German stewardesses approached and asked in English if I were sick. No, I said, just dizzy. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure, thank you. She smiled and left, and the music changed to a Billy Joel tune. I straightened up and looked out of the window at the dark clouds hanging over the North Sea, thinking of all I'd lost in the course of my life. Times gone forever, friends who had died or disappeared, feelings I would never know again. The plane reached the gate, people began unfastening their seatbelts and pulling luggage from the overhead lockers. And all the while I was in the meadow. I could smell the grass, feel the wind on my face, and hear the cries of the birds. Autumn 1969, and soon I would be 20. The stewardess came to check on me again. This time she sat next to me and asked if I was all right. I'm fine, thank you, I said with a smile. Just feeling kind of blue. I know what you mean, she said. It happens to me too every once in a while. She stood and gave me a lovely smile. Well then, have a nice trip. Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. 18 years have gone by, and still I can bring back every detail of that day in the meadow. Washed clean of summer's dust by days of gentle rain. The mountains wore a deep, brilliant green. The October breeze set white fronds of head-high grasses swaying. One long streak of cloud hung pasted across a dome of frozen blue. It almost hurt to look at that far-off sky. A puff of wind swept across the meadow and through her hair before it slipped into the woods to rustle branches and send back snatches of distant barking. A hazy sound that seemed to reach us from the doorway to another world. We heard no other sounds. We met no other people. We saw only two bright red birds leap startled from the centre of the meadow and dart into the woods. As we ambled along, Naoko spoke to me of wells. Memory is a funny thing. When I was in the scene, I hardly paid it any attention. I never stopped to think of it as something that would make a lasting impression. Certainly never imagined that 18 years later, I would recall it in as much detail. I didn't give a damn about the scenery that day. I was thinking about myself, and I was thinking about the beautiful girl walking next to me. I was thinking about the two of us together, and then about myself again. I was at that age, that time of life when every sight, every feeling, and every thought came back like a boomerang to me, and worse, I was in love. Love with complications. Scenery was the last thing on my mind. Now though, that meadow scene is the first thing that comes back to me. The smell of the grass, the faint chill of the wind, the line of the hills, the barking of a dog. These are the first things, and they come with absolute clarity. I feel as if I can reach out and trace them with a fingertip, and yet, as clear as that scene may be, no one is in it. No one. Naoko is not there, and neither am I. Where could we have disappeared to? How could such a thing have happened? Everything that seemed so important back then, Naoko and the self I was then, and the world that I had then, where would they have all gone? It's true, I can't even bring back her face, not straight away at least. All I'm left holding is a background, pure scenery, with no people at the front. True, given time enough I can remember her face. I start joining images, her tiny cold hand, her straight black hair, so smooth and cool to the touch, a soft rounded earlobe, and the microscopic mole just beneath it, the camel hair coat she wore in the winter. Her habit of looking straight into my eyes when asking a question, and the slight trembling that would come of her voice now and then, as though she were speaking on a windy hilltop. And suddenly her face is there, always in profile at first, because Naoko and I were always out walking together side by side. Then she turns to me and smiles, and tilts her head just a little and begins to speak. And she looks into my eyes, as if trying to catch the image of a minnow that has darted across the pool of a limpid spring. It takes time, though, for Naoko's face to appear, and as the years have passed, the time has grown longer. The sad truth is that what I could recall in 5 seconds, all too soon needed 10, and then 30, and then a full minute, like shadows lengthening at dusk. Someday, I suppose, the shadows will be swallowed up in darkness. There is no way around it. My memory is growing ever more distant from the spot where Naoko used to stand, where my old self used to stand. And nothing but scenery, that view of the meadow in October, returns again and again to me like a symbolic scene in a film. Each time it appears, it delivers a kick to some part of my mind. Wake up, it says, I'm still here. Wake up and think about it. Think about why I'm still here. The kicking never hurts me. There's no pain at all. Just a hollow sound that echoes with each kick. And even that is bound to fade one day. At Hamburg Airport, though, the kicks were longer and harder than usual, which is why I'm writing this book. To think, to understand. It just happens to be the way I'm made. I have to write things down to feel that I fully comprehend them.